They led scores of congregations into many battlefields of injustice, ignorance, evil, and peaceful demonstrations. These types of men and women are cut from a certain cloth. They're cut from this cloth of hope. They're cut from this cloth of faith. They're cut from this cloth of spiritual vision. They were strong, and in my opinion, they really didn't have a choice to be otherwise. Forgiveness is a great attribute of strength. Holding grudges for any reason for extended periods of time is a sign of weakness. As the young folks say, if you got beef with somebody and that beef has been existing for 10, 15, 20 years, something's wrong with you. You can't get over certain things that happened to you when you was a little baby. My daddy wasn't there. I'm 30 years old. I hate him. He wasn't there for my mama. Get over it. You're grown now. It's your job to not be like him, okay? And lead these young folks down the right direction, because you're perpetuating the cycle holding that grudge. Okay, so keep it in mind as we move forward. Know your history. These community leaders were also church leaders, politicians, activists, social workers, economists, strategists, and I'm sure some of our reverends in the crowd today can identify with this. It is up to the leaders of the churches and the church families to get involved and support them in becoming vessels for unity, community development, change, and atonement. Churches have already made it possible to praise God, and they also make it possible to have fun while doing this. Churches like the United Methodist Church, the Shiloh Baptist Church, the First Baptist Church are community vessels for people to engage in a vast array of self-help, health, wellness, young people programs, and other constructive-based activities. Hamburg, in order to continue building our church and communities and our relationships between the two, we must tolerate diversity. We must tolerate cultural issues. We must become culturally aware to all of our surroundings. We may need to make an effort to branch out to other neighborhoods, churches, temples, mosques, synagogues, and reach out to them. Organizing spiritual trips to Crossett, North Crossett, Wilmot, Crossroads, Wallace, Mist, Sulphur Springs, Old Milo, Wilmar, and other nearby municipalities. This should be in its infancy stages, if not you guys haven't already done these things. In the spirit of coming together, churches and faith-based organizations should consider or begin developing a closer relationship with the agricultural and forestry companies in the Delta as they harness great information that may be needed for church programs. From Ralph Chapel Free Will Baptist Church to Mount Zion Baptist Church, from Cloverdale Assembly in Crossett to Mount Pleasant Baptist Church and Grace Fellowship Ministries, all these institutions alike. When temples of worship and the surrounding communities come together, it can be a very powerful combination. A well-balanced community deals with the challenges of a variety of issues, such as the socio-economic politics that we all deal with. I grew up on welfare. I grew up 2 months out of my whole life I was homeless. A lot of people don't recognize or they can't identify. To be honest with you, I think right now I'm 2 paychecks away from being out of my apartment right now. To keep it real with you, but I don't focus on those negative things because I know there's another plan for me. Okay, so of course, as we move forward, know your history. Addressing all the previously stated the proper way, we all can become agents for change and equality. We must incorporate diversity. I took a glance at the Ashley County Ledger a few days ago and saw that in the contents a plethora of wonderful things pertaining to Ashley County and Hamburg. I became aware of this integral affair in this community. And I've never been to this region before. This is my first time here, and hopefully I'll get a chance to come back if I'm invited. I exposed myself so I didn't want to come off as being ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I'm not talking about stupid, because we're all ignorant to something. I'm not a father in terms of biological sense, but I'm a father to a lot of other kids that don't have any fathers. And so I don't know the first thing about changing diapers or anything like that. So I'm ignorant in that sense. but I'm well versed in other areas. So if I say somebody's ignorant, it's not a slap in the face, it's just something that you're not exposed to, okay? So keep this in mind as we move forward. We all know all too well what happens to our youth if they are not exposed to too much. I'm going to step away from the podium real quick because I got a little personal story that I want to relate to you. I work part-time at the Boys and Girls Club in Little Rock, Arkansas. I've been there for 3 years off and on. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been down here since 2003, 2004. Been teaching part-time and writing and things of that nature. I got this job working at the Boys and Girls Club to be a chaperone, to be a program coordinator, to help some of these kids that don't come from well-balanced backgrounds. And recently I was faced with the dilemma of bringing fruit into the Boys and Girls Club. You're saying, well, that's something simple. They only sell junk food in the Boys and Girls Club. So these children, are, their diets are all set. That's first and foremost, okay? You can't have a healthy mind unless you have a healthy body, okay? So that's important. That nutritional substance is of great importance. I walked into the Boys and Girls Club one day with a mango. If you don't know what a mango is, raise your hand. Okay, everybody knows what a mango is. I walked in with a mango one day, and the little girls were jumping rope, the guys were shooting basketball, and everybody stopped. The kids, the children, they stopped. They said, Mr. Ed, what is that right there? It hurt me to my heart, but it also gave me an opportunity to bridge that gap. They were ignorant. Their parents never showed them what a mango was. This is a simple fruit that you can get at Walmart. My mom and dad only told me about oranges and apples and bananas. They don't expose their sons and daughters to tropical fruit. Okay, they don't expose their sons and daughters to kiwi, okay, to cherries. They don't expose them to fresh fruit. It's all canned fruit, okay? So of course, you're exposing your child at a young age. It's beneficial to the future. My dad exposed me to cantaloupes and all types of Indian fruit when I was like 3 and 4 years old. So when I got to be a teen, I didn't come off as being so ignorant, okay? So I'm grateful for that. So this is what I'm talking about when I mean exposure. You have to expose your child to a vast array of different things, even things that don't look like or smell like or sound like us, okay? So that's important as we move forward. Know your history. Another personal thing here that I've been faced with. The people that know me know that my diet is somewhat complex. I kind of monitor what I put in my stomach. And as a result, I haven't been sick since 1991. There's a reason for that. I also don't put anything on my body that I can't eat. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people. I don't have lotion. I use extra virgin olive oil. The deodorant that I use, it's lemon extract. Okay, so if I put something on my body, I know it's natural. I know God made it. I know no company made it, and it's something that I can't pronounce and doesn't have any numbers at the end of it. That's just me. I'm not trying to push that on you all, okay, but it's the exposure. So I was in class not too long ago, and I was telling my students about the deodorant that we put on. A lot of times, the deodorant that you put on is not just deodorant. It's antiperspirant. I'm going to step out here into the sun with this sweater on. And when I step out here, you'll see there's probably some sweat glistening from my head. That's sweat. When your body overheats, naturally, there's a mechanism that says, hey, you need to cool down, dude. So you sweat. People that don't sweat probably have issues because that's not healthy. It is healthy, it is natural to sweat. But we live in a society and culture where, girl, you got sweat, you sweating, girl. So they put this antiperspirant on. Anti means to stop. It stops you from sweating. So it keeps all the germs in your body in your underarms. And of course, if you're breastfeeding or if you have shaved underarms, it creates a direct channel to the bloodstream. So when you put that antiperspirant on and you got these lumps in your underarms and you have health issues, you wonder why. It's coming from the deodorant that you put on. It's not deodorant, it's antiperspirant. So the next time you buy it, make sure you read the label. Expose yourself to what you're putting on your body. Don't just put it on because it's purple and because it smells good. Okay? A lot of us do that. Girl, it's flowers on there. Put that on. Okay? You have to be conscientious of what you put on your body. You have to expose yourself to these different kind of chemicals. And it comes with reading and knowing. And it's up to our parents and our guardians and our grandparents to educate our youth on things like that. Because we need to get ahead and know our history. Y'all getting weak on me now. Know your history.